Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is April 4th, 2024. It's broadcast 1028. It is day 181 since the war. And so we are coming together, friends, as we do every day, to learn Torah, to say hi to each other, to greet each other by name, to know that coming together as a community throughout every experience we could possibly have, many of which we would choose not to share, we would choose not for there to be. Coming together as a community is a healing, is a gift, just saying good morning, loving each other. All of that is an enormous gift. So, Ron, good morning. Hi, Michelle. Arlene, welcome. Let's see who is here on Facebook. Sharon and Linda, Shari and Arlene, Debbie, Barry, Sandy and Andy, good morning. Hannah and Rosa, Adrian, good morning. It's good to see you. Andy and Hannah. Uh, let's see who else is here. Things are jumping around on my screens a little bit. Julie Ann, your father turned 90. Mazel tov to you. Natalie and Justin, Cecile and Haley, good morning. Hi, Deborah. Amy and Joanne, Judy, Jonathan, Diane. I'm missing a few people because it's moving too fast, so please, friends, forgive me if I missed you. Dale and Peter, good to see all of you. Let's take a breath. Let's learn some Torah. Let's make today a very powerful and good one. Here we go. All right, friends. Let's start with a few things. One of them is my wishes to all of us for a good day. It's broadcast 1028. It is day 181 of the war. Helen, thank you for making challah for our soldiers, taking care of them, and I'm sure carrying all of our love through your hands, making that dough, infusing it with strength and hope and resilience. Thank you for that. I also wanted to thank our beautiful community member, a treasured friend of mine, Adrian Tanner, for really, really thinking hard about what it means to be a Torah-based community. And we had a really important conversation yesterday about how to address the tragedy of the 7 aid workers from the World Central Kitchen who were killed by missile attacks that Israel has acknowledged responsibility for. Obviously, a terrible, terrible mistake, a tragedy beyond description. How to incorporate that kind of Torah into our learning community? How to acknowledge mistake, but a significant one that gets to the heart of both the ugliness of war and what it is to be the ethical people we have always been called to be. And actually, who better to quote than Chef Jose Andre, who is um, just a beautiful human being, whose work with World Central Kitchen in places of danger and war all over the world has been a model of righteousness, a model of what we consider menschlichkeit, embodying values that Judaism holds dear. And for people who are staffing this incredibly heroic tzedakah, um, to have suffered so terribly. Now, we, of course, know that one of Hamas's tactics is to put innocent people in harm's way, knowing that their deaths will be a rallying call for the world, not in support of Hamas, but anti Israel. It's complicated. It is complicated to say the least, but we bear responsibility for this attack. And our core values, as Fran is saying, are being tested in this horrific historic moment in time. One of those values is acknowledging when we do wrong. How can we possibly find the words, find the posture with which to articulate this, grounding ourselves in Torah, knowing the necessity of our fight, and knowing that this was wrong? It is all complicated and all good. This work is all good, including the acknowledgement of wrong. So what I want to do is actually quote Chef Jose Andres, who spoke in an op-ed yesterday, both in the New York Times and also in Israeli papers in English, including Yediot Achronot, Ynet in English. And this is what he says at the end of his very important op-ed, and I hope that you'll all read it. And I really do credit Adrian with encouraging me to bring this in. And so it hurts so much. It hurts so much that the world ignores the dignity our family deserves. It really hurts. And it also hurts when we do wrong. He wrote, "There's a reason at this special time of year that Christians make Easter eggs. Muslims eat an egg at iftar dinners, and an egg sits on the Seder plate. This symbol of life and hope reborn in spring extends across religions and cultures. I have been a stranger at Seder dinners. I have heard the ancient Passover stories about being a stranger in the land of Egypt, the commandment to remember with a feast before you that the children of Israel were once slaves. It is not a sign of weakness to feed strangers. It is a sign of strength. The people of Israel need to remember at this darkest hour what strength truly looks like." And he's right. And of course we remember. 36 times in the Torah we are told that we were once strangers in Egypt and therefore we can never oppress anyone. And this is ugly, friends. War is ugly. My heart is so broken for the hostages and for our families. There are so many inspiring things that are happening in Israel through the work of countless souls, including so much of the UJA network in Israel. It is also so obvious that the Palestinian people have been devastated by Hamas's undermining their common good, and that this war, which we have no choice but to wage, is making it very hard to hold on to our ideals. Yes, there are elements in Israel society that are on the extremes. I'm not talking about them. We have to do enormous work to restrain the darkest side of who we are as a people, who Israel is as a society, who every people is truly. You know, ultranationalism, according to Albert Einstein, was the great cancer, remains the great cancer, and we see the effects of populism all over the world. We are not immune. We are not immune. And so there's a difference an enormous moral difference between the intentional slaughter of civilians that Hamas perpetrated on October 7th and has promised to do again. There's an enormous difference between that and the accidental killing of 7 aid workers and other Palestinian civilians. I can't imagine how impossible this work is for the soldiers, our young women and men who are our children, who, of course, have the same hearts and values and cherishing of life that we do. Wars of self-defense, wars of rescue. Those are milchamot mitzvah. Those are obligations. It is important for us to remember elements of the Seder that tell us how to feel about those who hurt us. It's so important. It's so important. Why do we reduce our joy at the Seder, the story of our people's liberation, the birth of our nation? After hundreds of years of enslavement, why do we take wine or grape juice out of our cups before celebrating our freedom, drinking it? In any other case, halachically, that would be called a kos pagum, a damaged cup of wine. But in fact, the tradition on Seder night is for us to reduce our joy. Why? Because the plagues were devastating to human beings. The Midrash has it that when we cross through the sea upon the Exodus, and we look back, and we see that the sea has closed in on the Egyptian soldiers, the army, and their chariots, who were pursuing us to kill us, we break into song. Another Midrash version has it that the angels break into song. You know the song. First Miriam sings it, at least we know from a scholarly perspective, her song came first. But we know it usually as the song of the sea, and it's through the language of Moshe, and that has a lot to do with how traditions are transmitted and women's voices, which always deserved to be as prominent as men's, were sometimes placed as secondary. It's a different conversation, but I can't not mention it. We know that song of the sea, Az Yashir Moshe, right? So sang Moses and the children of Israel, Ashir Ladonai ki ga'o ga'a. I will sing to God, for God is great. We sang that upon liberation through the sea, the birth channel of our people, the breaking of the waters. We sing. But the Midrash says that God looked at us, or the angels, and said, how dare you sing when my children are drowning? Even the Egyptian army, taskmasters, who beat us, who killed us, terrorists of a different sort, dehumanization. When they are dying, that is also the image of God dying. I don't know really how theologically to do this, how to reclaim, in my own eyes, the humanity of a terrorist. And yet, even the ancient rabbis, for whom the reverberation of the destruction of the temple and the ongoing Roman occupation was a constant threat, they guide us in our living traditions to remember that you cannot be fully free until every person is free. We cannot celebrate with abandon when people are dying. So do I know what to do with all of this? No. Do I have a way of synthesizing all of it? No. But I'm not allowed to only hurt when it's my babies. When a human being suffers, my Jewish soul is called to feel it. It's so hard, friends. Yes, as Rabbi Cantor Risa is saying, this will give the world political, cultural ammunition against Israel. That is true, and we will have to fight that. Israel as a noble, aspirational society, as the rebirth of our people, as a place of greater LGBTQ rights and women's reproductive rights, greater than the United States by far. a place where Arab Israelis serve on the Supreme Court, a place that is far from perfect but is gloriously beautiful. It deserves all of our defense. A place that holds its own extremes in check. A place that, for the first time in 75 years, is now conscripting ultra Orthodox citizens. A place that has to do better. And a place that I am proud to call home. I honor us, friends. And I don't impugn the integrity of Tzahal, the IDF. But we have to bear witness to this. We have to take responsibility for this. We have to love our home, and we have to be, as Chef Jose Andre has said, we are called to be our best selves as a people. And in this instance, we were not. There is an effort being led by a colleague, a rabbinic colleague, rabbis for the World Central Kitchen. And we are trying to raise funds in the name of the Jewish people to support this glorious, righteous work. It is a small act of responsibility. And so, friends, what I want to do is just pause. I wish our family were whole. I really do. I've been praying so hard. We all have. We've been working so hard. And I look at these faces always in front of me. There's Omer Shem Tov. I always have his face in front of me. Elia Cohen. I always have his face in front of me, and I'm always seeing Rachel and Jonathan, Hirsch's parents. I'm looking at the elderly and the babies. We still have to find space to grieve for those in harm's way. We have to grieve for the innocents. The pause is not easy, because for 181 days we have been fighting for our lives, fighting for dignity, fighting the world's attack on Jewish integrity and pride. We are fighting on campus for our children to simply be treated as fully human. We are fighting, and we have to keep fighting. Our cause is just, but war is ugly, and it all has to be held at the same time. I am grateful to our ancestors for helping curate rituals that can hold all of that and hold us as we hold all of that. I'm grateful to this community, friends, to you, for being warm enough and loving enough and mature enough and diverse enough and honest enough to do all of this. I hope, friends, that you will show up this Sunday with UJA and countless organizations to mark 6 months. 6 months that Elia and Omer, 134 human beings, have been kept in the dark, stolen from home. Where women who have been taken have been hurt and are being hurt right now. You know, I saw Rose just say a second ago, the way that this connects to the Torah portion is the silence of Aaron. I'm not being silent, of course. Of course, we're not. We can't. But I am struck so silent by the complexity of all these feelings. And I do my best every day, as we all do, to find inspiration, to find pushes towards hope. And tomorrow I already have planned what I'll be sharing. It will be entirely about hope. But I really do, friends, ask you to feel all the feelings and to remain steady somehow. That is our great work. These are two of 134 people who tell me that when I feel exhausted, boy, do I not understand exhaustion. When I'm feeling these feelings, of course, I know who my children are. I know who my parents are. And that's what this is about. And I know that my parents who taught me Torah and my children who learn Torah and teach me too, we are all, our whole family, called to be the best version of ourselves. And that requires acknowledgement of where we go wrong. So I hope, friends, that you will be part of this great healing. Because as Rav Nachman of Breslov taught, Imata ma'amin she'echol lekalkel, if you believe that you can hurt, ta'amin she'echol letaken, believe that you can heal, believe that you can fix. We can fix. We can heal. May the families of those affected by this horrible tragedy know that they are loved. May they receive comfort. May the great work of the World Central Kitchen continue with strength and our support. May this war end because we rescued our family. May the people of Israel, the state of Israel, may all of us have better days very soon. May we continue growing and being true to who we are, holding all of our values, all of them, with everything we've got. May we, this gorgeous community that we have held together for more than 4 years, 1,028 broadcasts, may we be blessed to continue learning and growing and supporting each other. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everyone. This is a real community because we can hold all of this and each other. So, with me, let's pray. Let's sing. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi hombia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia. Od lo avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liot am chovshi be'atzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Liot am chovshi be'atzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends. Take care.